Good afternoon. At the outset, I'm happy to be here. I'm honored to be here and really, really privileged. Because today I got the opportunity to share the awards along with many luminaries in the field of oil, gas, and fossil sector. Having said that, Razan Sir, my co-speaker on the dash, I can see Balian Saab, Garg Saab, and ladies and gentlemen. You know, coming from coal and speaking on a dash sharing with coal and oil and gas or hydrogen, sometimes it gives me a feeling like you are the elephant in the room. Because everybody looks at coal with a demonic eye, or the optics is completely different when they look at coal. But nevertheless, just I would like to take you some figures. India is a 1.4 billion people out of 8 billion people in the world. India is almost $4 trillion economy. The GDP is growing around 6 to 7%. But today morning when I was hearing Taneja Saab, he said India should grow at 9%. Fantastic. So what is the primary energy consumption of India now? Is it something 39 exajoule or 40 exajoule out of 620 the world consumes? It is almost 1/16. And look at population. It is 1.4 out of 8. It is almost 1/6 and 1/16. So if we are growing at 9%, becoming 4 to 8 in the next 6, 7, 8 years, what is the food for the growth in energy or the economy? It is energy only. So if this 39 or 40 exajoules, which translates to almost 1,000 million tons of oil equivalent, becomes double, then my energy requirement becomes 1,800 million tons of oil equivalent. So 80% growth in the next 4 to 5 years. And here what we speak, we want to whisk away coal. Is it possible? Look at electricity. India's per capita consumption is 1,500 kilowatt. Look at China, it is 6,600. Brazil, 3,700. South Africa, 3,300. US, 12,000. Let's forget that. Let's not reach up to their level. Even if we reach the level of Brazil and South Africa, who are almost there with us in BRICS, then we need to double. So how are you going to generate so much of electricity if you do not have coal? The per capita, I think right now we are doing around $2,800 or $2,900, aspiring to touch $4,000 by 2030. So like one of the speaker in the morning, he said, this Europe or this US or the developed economies, they have plundered the world. And now what kind of hypocrisy they are showing to the whole world, and khas karke the developing nation like India. When we want to grow, they want to curtail our growth, saying that, look, you have to depend on renewables. But for what? 20% PLF? India is not blessed with critical minerals. We don't have the technology to manufacture, batteries. We are still dependent. So, all I want to say that, look, no matter what we think, what we wish, we just can't whisk away coal or oil and gas for that matter. We have got 300 billion tons of coal reserve. This year, for the first time, India has crossed 1 billion ton. And even if we go and add another 500 million tons on account of this 90 gigawatt power plant coming, it is going to 1.5. So 1.5 billion tons of thermal coal per year, 300 billion tons reserves, 200 years. If I have it under my earth's surface, why should I sacrifice it? Well, all I'm saying is that yes, We need to strike a balance between the economic growth and environmental sustainability. But which comes first? First comes economic growth or environmental sustainability? Economic growth नहीं रहेगा तो हम रहेंगे ही नहीं. What do you do with that environment? So I strongly believe that I'm not against any one of these two. I just want a perfect balance between the two. So what we need to do? So we need to have a philosophy of exploit and evolve. Exploit where you have, like coal you have hydro, you have solar. I'll tell you, the eastern part of India, where we're going on putting solar power plants, solar generation plants, nobody cares about the suspended particle in the air. What is the efficiency of those plants? Even they touch 10%. Nobody bothers because we have got a target we have to achieve. We don't care what is the efficiency of those solar generation plants. So maybe that, I think one of the studies said more than 50% of the solar plants should be put up in the west, starting from Rajasthan and Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and part of Tamil Nadu. So that's another thing. So all I'm saying, when you exploit what we have, coal, yes. When we exploit, whether we give everything for production of power, or generation of power, or we can also do meaningful application by finding out coal to gas and coal to liquid. So I will come to that later on. And then when I talk about evolve, yes, there are three sources which comes to my mind when we talk about going forward and generating primary energy. They are battery energy system, storage system, BESS. They are nuclear, they are hydrogen, but all of them come with their own challenges. Let me tell you, I think uranium storage is there only for 90 years. 90 years will just go just like this. So unless you build on thorium, which India has got plenty, I think 20% of the world reserve is in India. So unless you start working on thorium and make it a nuclear fuel successfully, so there also we have challenges. So all I'm saying, I'm just leaving it as a food for thought for all of you that yes, there is a philosophy, exploit and evolve, so we can work on that. Then coming to Coal India. How many of you know that we are the world's largest coal producing company? We are actually. I think we did 781 million tons this year. And we could have produced more. If you would have evacuated more, we could have produced more. And we have an aspiration to go up to 1 billion tons. And we can assure that whatever thermal power plants India wants to set up, India is capable of meeting its thermal power plant requirement, coal requirement. But again, like I said, we do not want to stop our coal production at that. We are also, have the optics to look at going forward what happens, maybe 30, 40 years now. Because the moment we are planning to set up plants now, 5 years it takes minimum for setting up the plant, and then at least it should have a 25 years of run to give you the return. So 25 plus 5, 30, 2025. 2055, I think, I can say, but this is my personal view and opinion, coal is not going anywhere even in 2100. Coal is going to stay. So what I was saying that yes, what Coal India is trying to not only supply coal for power, we are also going towards coal gasification. We just took 4 or 5 products, like, if you replace DME, ammonia, natural gas, and chloromethane. It requires, I think, 40 million tons of these products if you want to generate. You have to do 80 million ton of coal gasification. And it will give you $2 billion of forex saving every year. $2 billion is not small. It's almost close to 18,000 to 19,000 crores. And today's date, China has got 100 coal gasification units running. with 200 million tons of coal getting processed for coal gasification. I know, morning when I met Rina ma'am saying that I have been discussing coal gasification since 1970. But I am here to give you good news. In the last 2 years, with my colleagues, one of the colleagues sitting here, Pius, we have given shape to coal gasification. The first coal gasification with indigenous technology is being set up in near Jharsuguda, Sambalpur. It is going to produce ammonium nitrate. We do not want to take a panga with the market because I know till it is, because what happens, more often doubt kills more dreams than the failure ever will. So when you talk about coal gasification, the doubt was there every time anybody that took that initiative in this direction. So what we have decided, we are going to produce only 3 products: ammonium nitrate, synthetic natural gas, and dimethyl ether. And I have a logic why we have decided, or why the optics were for these 3 products. Ammonium nitrate, Coal India itself consumes almost 8 lakh tons of ammonium nitrate. And this plant is going to produce only 6.6 lakh tons. Natural gas, as all you know, that 56% of the natural gas is imported. And what happens to the natural gas? All the natural gas that we import, most of the gas, I think 12 to 13 million ton of gas goes to urea plant, and it is subsidized. So who the government is subsidizing? Because 80 to 85% of them are imported gas. So we are not subsidizing our Indian brothers. We are actually subsidizing the LNG producers from either Qatar or from US or from Australia. So let's subsidize Coal India. So your money is going to stay here, your money is not going to flow outside. Third thing is dimethyl ether. I think, you know, LPG, with the spot in demand in petrochemicals, more and more LPG is going to divert it towards petrochemicals. So India still, I think, imports around 25 million tons consumption, I think 16 to 17 million tons of import. So if we can, you know, part of it we can replace with dimethyl ether, even though it is calorific value is less, but yes, DME can replace part of LPG, it can be blended with LPG, and I think government is working. And let me give, the government has given full support to coal gasification. They have recently come out with a VGF of $1 billion, where for all these big projects, they are giving 1,350 crore for each project, or all the 10% of the project cost. So the challenge is, now in coal gasification is technology. So far, we have been paper tigers when it comes to R&D. I mean, there is nobody to come beat us. When it comes to IT, IS, those kind of things where you can just sit down and maths, so you have to go back to, I think, 300, 400 years. We had fantastic mathematicians. But when it comes to metal, when it comes to this kind of real-time R&D, we lagged far behind. We are nowhere. And I don't know how many of the companies, including mine, spend money in R&D. So what is happening? The result is that we have been going around with a begging bowl, asking everyone that please give us technology. And the smart guys like China, they say that we won't. We will come and build a plant for you, but we will not pass on the technology. So there is no shortcuts. So to cut the long story short, that yes, we need to invest in R&D no matter what. So I think in this forum, because when the captains are there, when the thinkers are there, when the policymakers are there, my only appeal to them would be that yes, the time has come when we should stop looking at others, we should start working ourselves, we should spend money on R&D. They are not rocket science, let me tell you. If you can produce rocket, you can launch satellites. I mean, I have gone and seen NFTDC lab in Hyderabad. If they could do that, then I'm surprised why we have not spent money on this. Maybe that because, like I said, the doubt in the mind of people had not encouraged them to spend money on this coal gasification or anything to do with coal. So besides that, another area where Coal India is working, what I said that these 3 coal gasification plants, Coal India is taking very seriously, and we are going to make it happen. I may not be there, but my junior colleague who is sitting here, he will be there to commission those 3 plants by 2030. The next area where Coal India is working is critical minerals. Even though we know that critical minerals is critical for India, we are not blessed with many of them. We don't have lithium, we have got very few nickel, cobalt. Cobalt again is not there. So we want to leverage the mining experience, 230,000 workforce, a bit of diversification to ensure that yes, we go and acquire assets overseas and bring those lithium, nickel and cobalt minerals here, and we don't stop there. We must know how to benefit those minerals to come to the product or intermediary which can be used for making batteries. And Coal India is thinking of coming up with its own battery manufacturing line. So we are taking major steps, and we are looking all kinds of assets all over the world, and maybe that yes, next 6 to 8 months we will get some fantastic news on that front. Third area where Coal India is working is pump storage. Pump storage is another area because we have got 375 mines. Some of them are already recorded, some of them are no more in use, which can act as lower reservoir. So you store water there, pump those water to an upper reservoir, which we have to build. When you have power at a cheaper price, maybe solar power at 2.55 or 2.6, and then bring it down through a turbine and the peaking time or peaking hours, where you pay around 8 to 9 rupees. It makes commercial sense, but only thing is that you must have an eye towards the size. Minimum size is 1,000 megawatt and plus. Recently, Coal India has signed a MOU with EDF, world's largest PSP operating company. Similarly, we are also working on nuclear. Maybe this is a recent development, but yes, the decoaled mines are ideal for setting up SMR plants. I think these are all in nascent stage, this SMR, but yes, if going forward, one company can make it happen, I think Coal India is in a very, very fantastic position to take it forward. So Coal India, like I said, we are here to meet the demand of coal for the country to make its energy going. At the same time, we're also working on the renewables. We have not closed our eyes. We are working in all kinds of energies, and we want to make it a holistic energy company and energy solution provider for the country. So last, before I sign out, I just would like to say 2 things. R&D is a must, and we also should work on these 3 areas besides the areas where we are very strong. They are BESS, nuclear, and hydrogen. Thank you very much.